it goes. I didn't record that, so I'm going to do it over again. Okay, so I'm checking moisture on these bales. I've got my John Deere moisture tester. It's probably a Delmhurst of some sort, cheaper one. They put a John Deere tag on it. And we'll see what the moisture is. It's coming up 23.5. That's weird because the last one I did was 17. The one that I didn't record on. Oh God. And the hotter you make that thing, 20.4. We are within our tolerance. They don't want us any higher than 25%. He says, kind of try and keep it at 20. All right, so we're winding down a rather uneventful day. We've had pretty good go. The equipment has held up pretty good until now. I'm getting into this fall panic. I'm not too thrilled with it, but what can I do? You can't start a job and then not do it. I'm sure the mushroom barns will be okay with it. It'll be all right as long as the majority of the stalks the bale is majority stalks. They'll be okay. So it'll probably be a quarter of a bale of that green shit. You know, the rest of it will be good quality corn stalks. Timothy went up to New Jersey today to pick up the hay rake. I didn't need him today because he would have been mostly sitting around waiting for bales to drop off of the back of the baler. And as you can see, Joe is crawling across the field. It is not a very easy go of it today. The sun never really shone bright today, so it's a bit sticky, and he was tripping the VFS or the stuffer system, and which there's nothing wrong with it doing that. It's better if he goes slow. I did pull the moisture. You can see that in the video, and it's dry, but it's just not that crispy critter dry. You know, the crunchy dry that you would really like to see for the baler to eat it really well. And as the dew sets on, and that's what we're running into right now, is we're starting to get some dew. He's going to be going slower and slower. I mean, I think he's only going about 2.5, 3 miles an hour right now because of it. Now, yesterday he was going up to 6 miles an hour, running pretty heavy corn fodder. But today, just not the case. It's only going to be a 200 bale day today if I can gauge what he's got right now. I mean, he was a couple hours ago he was at about 100, so if he was at 100 a couple hours ago, he's at 150 to 200 now. We have been doing about 300, 350 a day, but that's just this particular farm. I don't know whether these stalks are just more abrasive. There's less dust. I mean, there's nothing coming out of there hardly. You can see that little trail of dust. But there's less dust, but I don't think it's abrasive. I'm using the wrong word. I think it's not abrasive, it's just sticky, you know, like gummy. It doesn't want to behave itself, maybe. It just doesn't want to feed very good. The shredder is working great. It's chewing it up really good. Oh, I'm a windrow off there. So, yeah, it's chewing up really good. So the bits are small, and maybe the cellulose in the middle of the plant is just grabbing it, causing it to not want to feed too well. So, but tomorrow it's supposed to be a better, sunnier day, I think, and it should feed pretty good, and we should be able to catch up. Or he should be able to catch up to me anyway. I really don't want him to catch up to me. I just want him to, you know, stay along with me. Yeah, so I guess I've been yakking for too long. I know there's a lot of questions on where this stuff is going. Why am I doing this kind of sort of thing? And I guess I can answer those questions now. This is mostly going to the mushroom barns. It will be going into the mushroom production, this composting. This is not a new concept to use corn fodder in the mushroom mix, but it is becoming a more widely used ingredient in the compost for structure and carbohydrate. So, at least that's how it was told to me by a grower years ago, like 20 years ago. 15 years ago is when I first introduced it. And as a matter of fact, the company that this is going to, I used to take hay to. I no longer take hay to them anymore. It was Georgie Mushroom Company on Alani Farm, is where this is supposed to go. All right, so we're going to start on the 4960 here. We're greasing up. Joe's getting ready to grease up. He's got some medium gloves for his oversized hands because we ran out of the large ones, and that moly grease gets on your hands, it don't come off. But anyways, I want to talk about this tractor just a little bit. When I first overhauled it, I put about 3 hours worth of time on it, just running it in, you know, wide open, and we put it under a little bit of a load. And then of course I hooked it to this shredder where it is pretty well maxed out all the time. This over 200 horsepower, this tractor, and that Henniker, it takes a lot of snot to make her go. So she's working. The tractor's working. The first couple of, about 3 days. The first day Timothy ran it for a couple hours and didn't notice any oil consumption. And then I got in it, and of course I was probably running it harder than Timothy was, and I noticed some oil consumption. So I put in about a quart. I put it to the high side, put it to the high side on the dipstick. And then the next day I ran it another, I don't know how many hours I run it the next day, 12 hours the next day, and 10 hours the next day or something like that, solid. And I pulled the dipstick and I ended up putting in another pint and a half of oil. And now I've ran it for, let's see, I want to say 3 or 4 days now. Yesterday I checked it and it was perfect. It was right where I had put the oil to it. And this morning I just checked it, and I can prove to you I dribbled some oil there. But I just checked it this morning, and where in the hell is my thing? It is perfect. It hasn't changed at all. It's right in the middle of the hashtag, the hash marks of the dipstick. So we are no longer consuming any oil. So I would absolutely have to say that this is a 100% perfect engine overhaul. She's strong. It does blow a lot of black smoke though. You notice the black smoke coming out of this thing?
When it really gets put under pressure?
Yeah, it really does, man. She belches. And I'm afraid that I'm going to twist off my power takeoff shaft adapter because it's a lot of horsepower to put on a little 1 3/8 or whatever the hell size, 21 spline power takeoff adapter. The shredder seems to be doing good. My bearing here, I have to say, Ryan Nelson of Nelson Hay and Straw, they're working not far from me here, and they brought me the proper bearing to put in there, and I haven't put it in yet because this is working. So yeah, this is working, and as long as this is working, I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, so these Hennekers, there is some wear on this Henniker. There's actually a hole directly beneath the paddle there, which when I bought it I didn't see it, but it was there. And it was there, but it doesn't matter to me at all because it's right in front of the paddles. It falls, anything that comes out of that falls forward. I will be welding some plate steel in there when I get it home after this job is done. My plans, I got a brand new Henniker sitting up in Pennsylvania. I got another week of work to do with this one before I can go and get that one. And why in the hell is that all wrapped up like that? What is this? Oh, that damn fall panicum. I'm gonna have to start that up. I guess I must have shut it off at the end of the row and it grabbed it up. But these things, I got new blades on here when I started, and they're still in pretty fantastic shape at almost 1,000 acres on them. I got another set in the truck. We will change them. We will change them over when we get some wear, but it's always a good thing to take a look underneath there and see if you're missing any, because it'll throw it out of balance. And when you throw this thing out of balance, then you have this incredible problem of a shimmy, and which causes things to crack and break and do the things that you really don't want it to do. And we don't want that to happen. So I have this wheel here is still cocked to the side the wrong way, just a little bit. So I'm actually going to put a chain on that, and we're going to give it a yank again and get that thing in the right direction, because I have to hook it to this tractor and drive 65 miles to Virginia in the next, probably tomorrow. If I get done with this field here today, this farm here today, there's 190 acres here. I should be done with this today, and then I'm going to drive it to Virginia, down to, what's the name of the town? Painter, Virginia. And then from Painter, I got to go to Bird's Nest, and then Port Charles. Port Charles? I think it's Port Charles or something Charles down there, Port Clare or some damn thing, down way the hell down in the on the eastern shore, just before you cross over the tunnel bridge, and we'll be working in that area. And then I'll be working my way back up this way, ending in Pennsylvania. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise that thing up, fire this thing up. Now, I haven't fired it up yet this morning, but I will grab my key. I just threw it in here last night because nobody steals anything down here. And for those of you that like the black smoke, ooh, did you hear that? You didn't hear that, did you? On a cold startup. A little bit of white smoke, which is perfectly normal for a 466 to do. And we'll go ahead and raise that up. And we'll go ahead and we'll start that up. I want to get that shit off the rotor. Smells like diesel. Okay. I'm going to shut her back off again. Yay! I'm going to pop this open and check the tension. I'll pop this open and check the tension on that chain, because there's a chain in there, and you got to kind of check it every once in a while. I grease it. I was told don't grease it, but I'm going to grease it anyway because that's just what I do with this thing. It had been greased in the past. It is a John Deere chain, 60H. I may just say to hell with it and not grease it, but I have to grease the machine entirely. So I just want to check bearings and stuff. It sounds like everything's working right, but there's a 9/16 wrench I got to get, and I'm going to shut up and do my job now. I will say that he is quite the independent young lad. I want out. You won't let him go, will you?
Nope.
He's the bubble boy.
Don't put that on my boobs is showing you.
You ain't got no boobs showing.
Over there. Over there.
Put him down and see where he goes. Put him down and see where he goes. I bet you he goes right around the other side of you. That's it, Mom. Off to the tire. He likes tires. All right, fine. I'll climb over you to get to the tire.
Tumba. Tumba.
Poor Wedward.